ringing in 2024 in Ireland was not on my 2023 bucket list, but oh, we're doing it. Today, me and my friend are bringing you a try to get ready with me, and it's kind of an exciting one. It's a video, it's sure a video that I never really planned on filming. I am going to be talking about how I'm going to Ireland over New Year's Eve and how you can come too. Sam Squad takes Ireland. Who knew this was going to be a thing? I do start my videos with an outfit of the day. Usually in my get ready with me videos, I am pretty casual. I have on my moon shoes, these shorts, I don't remember where I got them from, and then this top, which is from Target, and my sports bra underneath, which is Green Bay Packers. Football's back, baby. No, we're not officially in the season yet, but like things are happening. Things are happening. Am I scared for the Packers season? Slightly, but that's not what this video is about. I will link everything that I'm using in my description box. I am going to be doing, we're a little bit late on this one, but I wanted to do this very pink look that I had been rocking in several videos, and I was getting asked so many questions of how I get it. So I was doing a bunch of Barbie events when the movie was coming out. Like I went to the movie, but it seemed like everywhere in Las Vegas had like a Barbie theme situation going on. So I was doing that makeup a lot, and I kept saying that I was gonna do a get ready with me. So we're finally doing it. I should also zoom you in, so I'm gonna do that. But first, just using my LYS Concealer. I just posted a video on Project Use Up, makeup that I want to use up by the end of the year, not just pan, but like use completely up. And this LYS Concealer is on there. So determined. I feel like I don't even know like where to start with all of this. So like I said, I will be in Ireland over New Year's Eve, and I am working with a tour company that hosts these tours in Ireland, and they asked if I wanted to come on and be like a host of this trip. It's the first time that they're working with an influencer. It's the first time I'm doing something like this, so I'm definitely like nervous about it, but I'm also really excited because once they explained the trip to me and like sent me the itinerary and just kind of talked through everything, I started to get so excited for it. So I'm just gonna run through everything today because I've definitely been getting asked, you know, I've shared about it like on my community tab and in my Facebook group and on Instagram and things like that. I've definitely been getting asked a lot of questions. So I also wanted to come on and just you know, share more about it and why I decided to do it and what it's all about. And also I do want to plan to do a live chat. So I'm gonna have my pinned comment should have a date and time and also platform of where I'm going to do a live chat, because I thought that might be helpful too. And that way if people had questions, kind of ask them in real time, because I think that this is a pretty, like, I think it's an awesome opportunity, but it is a really big deal. It is 10 days in Ireland, and I know that's not just like a simple trip. You know, I was planning to host a Las Vegas retreat, like a weekend thing in Las Vegas, which is where I live. And, you know, I know that this is very different from just like a weekend in Vegas. So it's a lot of days, and you know, it's over a holiday as well, and it's also pretty soon. Like I, you know, was told this last month, and I had just a little bit of window to decide if I wanted to do it and if I would be able to go over New Year's and all of that, especially with everything that's been happening with my dog's diagnosis. So it was a lot for me to think about as well, and I know it's a lot for everyone to think about. So I thought a live chat could help, and then doing like some Zooms with people that are going, but I'll jump into all that information as well. And if you have any questions that come up during the video, if you just want to leave them in the comment section, I'm happy to answer them if I don't know the answers, because again, I'm just coming along on the trip as well, but this trip was planned for and you know, is put together by like a licensed tour company. But basically, like I said, last month I was contacted by a tour company, and I've worked with them in Las Vegas. They also do like tours of the city here, but then they do vacation packages to other countries also. And so they reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be involved in this Ireland trip. And I was instantly very curious about it and wanted to get all the details. So I'm gonna have some stuff pulled up on my computer that I'll be like kind of reading, because I obviously want to make sure I'm saying things correctly and like all of those things. But I will also have this linked in my description box, of course. There's a couple different links, and you'll be able to see like the full itinerary, like all the different cities, all of that, the cost of everything. What I liked about this is that it is all-inclusive, so kind of similar if you were going to go to like, you know, I've done all-inclusives in Mexico and the Bahamas and St. Lucia, so you do pay for your airfare there and back, but then what you pay for where you stay covers, you know, all of your hotel stays, their stays in castles, your meals, your tours. So once you get there, all of that is included. I've never seen an all-inclusive to Ireland. Again, I usually see them more to kind of like what I just mentioned. So I've always wanted to go to Ireland. I just never knew if it was an actual like real possibility, especially because I love traveling, but not a lot of people around me do. And not that I'm not up to travel by myself, but sometimes, you know, it's a little bit overwhelming. So to have an opportunity to go to Ireland, I was like, okay. But again, like I said, I will have those links in the description box as well, and that will give you more information. There is also a phone number you can call, and I would recommend calling the tour company too. I know a lot of you have already called and talked to them, and that way they can answer any further questions you might have. They can also help you with like booking flights, things like that. I also do have a hold a room option too. So if you want to call, ask your questions, and then want some time to think about it, you can also ask them, will you hold my spot? It'll be held for 20 days. So that way you have a little bit of time to decide as well. But for the trip, this is going to run December 27th through January 5th. So also, again, celebrating New Year's in Ireland, which I thought was very cool. And it is $24.99 a person, and that is all-inclusive, minus your flights there and back. The excursions, the local drinking tours, there's castle, dinner, and parties. We had to stay in a castle a few nights. Photo shoots, all of your hotel bookings, all of the transportation between the different cities is included. Historical tours, ruins and landmarks, dining experiences, access to museums. There is also an app. So if you do book, you will get access to it's through Atomic Trips. So it is through their app. They have different information in there. There's like a Ireland checklist that you can see. And then there is also a place to chat. And like I said, I do also want to have some live Zooms with everybody going on the trip in the months leading up to it, just so we can kind of get to know each other, you know, a little bit more before we get there. I'm pretty sure at the time that I'm filming, everyone that has booked so far is traveling solo. And I know we have like a few couples that are interested in coming along as well. And I have like some family members that might come too that know each other. But I know there's been a lot of interest from people who, again, like just don't have a lot of others that are able to travel with them. And this way we kind of, you know, as a community, we kind of get to do it together. And then of course, like I'll be there. And this way we can kind of get to know each other ahead of time as well. So I thought maybe that could be like a good idea to do. And so that way when we're actually there, we kind of already have, you know, a little bit of a connection going on. So a little overview, it says New Year's in Ireland, experience the best of Ireland with our unforgettable all-inclusive tour, explore 8 incredible cities, delve into the rich history of legendary castles, and indulge in exquisite cuisine, spend 3 nights in a castle, dine like royalty, and immerse yourself in local culture. Join a carefully selected group of like-minded individuals for a fun and engaging atmosphere. Rest easy in 4-star accommodations while we take care of every detail. This exclusive adults-only trip promises memories that will last a lifetime. Treat yourself to this extraordinary adventure and let us handle the logistics. So again, we do have the itinerary. Like we start off in Dublin. Some of the other things on here, Rock of Cashel and Cork, Blarney Stone, Killarney, Cliffs of Moher, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing all this correctly, Galloway. There's a Springfield Castle, a Castle Exploration Day, Limerick and Athlone, Roscommon Castle, and then back to Dublin. And then there's like a little map here too, because like I don't know Ireland very well enough. There's like a little map of everywhere that you will be going throughout Ireland. So again, you know, I get asked to do this and I'm thinking about it, and I know I don't have much time to make a decision because you know, obviously I want to give everybody else time as well to decide if it's something that they can do, or, you know, ask for time off work or check with families or just different things like that. And I obviously, you know, decided to say yes for a few different reasons. One being, I just think it's a very cool travel opportunity. Like I said, I never thought that I would really get to Ireland. Like, that I would love to go to Ireland, but did I ever really think it would be a thing? I don't know. So that seemed like such a cool idea. But then when I learned that they really want to focus it on like bringing a community of people that know each other, like it said in the thing, like-minded individuals, that I thought was really cool and might be able to make it, you know, such a special experience. One thing that I am really grateful for through this social media career is the community and the friends that it has given me. I always tell the story of like, I started online because I didn't really have friends like in real life. And I didn't have a lot of people that I could talk to about things with. And that's what I feel like this platform has given me and what makes me very grateful for it. And it's just something that I try to put the biggest focus into, is not just having things be about me, but I try to bring the community into it as much as I can. And it's just something that's really special to me. It's why I thought about doing like the Las Vegas retreat here, and just something where we could come together, because I think being with one another is just really special versus talking to each other online, or even like doing things like the Zooms, which I think are really cool too. But getting to meet in person just feels like such a special thing. And that was one reason why, again, like people that maybe don't have others that can travel with them, you can still, you know, travel solo on this trip, but have a group there, have people there that you will be able to, you know, hopefully make some more friendships with, or just feel like you're in a safe community. Traveling to another country, and I know especially traveling as a woman, can be very scary and overwhelming. So to know that you have you know, obviously the tour company there that's handling all of those logistics, like there's nothing that you have to do on your end, but then you also have a group of people there too, that I thought was really neat. But I also thought the price was really good for 10 days, especially over a holiday as well. And then with it being an all-inclusive vacation, I just don't really see all-inclusive vacations offered to Europe. And that's definitely a area that I would like to get to explore more and visit more. A lot of you might know that like traveling is just something that I love so much. I have 2 travel tattooed on my foot. I was a travel major in college, and it's one thing that I've just always wanted to do more of, and I always feel like I never am doing enough. And so I thought that was a great price to be able to get everything that's included in there and to be able to go. And one thing that I hear a lot from my community is how much that you love travel as well, but also how difficult it can be. Again, whether you just don't have the people to travel with you, or the prices are too much, or you don't know how to put together certain, you know, like you don't know where to go or how to get around or things like that. All of that is very daunting. Like I said, I was a travel major in college, and our big, like basically kind of what's like considered our final was we would work on a huge project. Like my first year it was Amsterdam, and we would work of like, how would you send people there? Where would they stay? Where would they go? How would they get around? Where would they eat? What would they do? All of those things. We had to plan all of that, but then we actually got to take the trip and see like, did we do a good job? And I thought that was really cool, but it really showed how much planning goes into doing something like this. That was a lot of work, man. But it was so fun, and it was so interesting to me. I went on to be a travel agent for a couple of years and put together travel itineraries for others, international, here, Disney, all of that. That was really such a fun thing to be able to do, and I'm hopeful that something like this will, you know, maybe with the same tour company or other tour companies, like if we could do more and be able to just give people more opportunities to do something that they love but don't necessarily feel like they get these opportunities. I think that would be so exciting. So knowing that I talked to so many of you about how much you love to travel but you just can't do it, I was like, what if this would give people that opportunity to do so. And I know talking to some of you, like some of you who have booked, or we've talked about if you have questions, everyone, the first thing that everyone has mentioned to me is how good that price is. And I was like, okay, I agree. Like, I'm glad that we agree, because, you know, sometimes you just don't know. And even there's a couple of friends that I've talked to who have done Ireland trips themselves, and when I've said everything and showed the itinerary and what's involved, they're like, for that price? Like, they're like, it's such a good deal. And I was like, okay, great. Like, it was another reason that I really wanted to say yes to it, because again, I'm not saying that it's something that's like inexpensive, but in exchange for everything that you are getting, I still do feel like it's a good price. And I do, obviously, like, transparency is very important to me. So the one thing that I did want to mention of how this works with influencers, or at least how this is working in my situation, is essentially if I come on as host and I'm able to fill every single spot, then my trip is paid for by the company in exchange for me, like, bringing in my community and also doing a ton of like filming and promotion when I'm there. You know, this trip will not necessarily be what I would consider a vacation, but I also don't really consider most of my trips vacations, because I'm filming everything regardless. But this time, like, I actually, like, I have to be filming everything. I have to be vlogging every single day. Most of the places that I'm going to will have some sort of, like, I need to be promoting like the restaurant or like things like that. So it is kind of like in exchange for all of the work that I'm doing as well when I'm there, and all of the like content that is being produced, and then also for bringing on my community. But if I'm not able to do that, then I will be paying for the trip by myself. So that is something that was in the back of my mind too, is can I also commit to 10 days to Ireland over New Year's Eve? And can I commit to the $2,500 per person plus my flights? So that is something that all I had to consider as well. And especially this year, again, with my dog's situation and being in chemotherapy and all of that, it's been a very expensive year for me. So I wouldn't say it's it wasn't the easiest decision to come to it, in case I do end up paying and you know, everything for myself. But I kind of went back to that why not. And if you've been with me for a minute, you might have heard me say why not a lot. I just very briefly, like, I had an aunt who passed away at the start of 2020, and our last conversation that we had, she was telling me that she wanted to share an idea with me the next time we saw each other. And she didn't really tell me a lot, but one thing that she said was, I know I'm older, but I just thought, why not? Why not go for it? And it was like 8 weeks later, she passed away. So in 2020, I kind of wanted it to be like honoring my aunt and my godmother in that way of always kind of thinking like, why not take this opportunity? Why not try this? Why not do this? And then obviously, you know, she passed away in January of 2020. And then by March, everything had changed. Everything looked different. And I really feel like through everything that happened with COVID, with my divorce and all of my personal situations, I still always try to keep that why not mantra in the back of my mind. So when this guy approached me and I'm like thinking through everything and like pros and cons and can I really do this, and kind of the fear of taking on something like this too, of like, what if something doesn't go well? Like, it doesn't matter that I didn't like plan this and like whatever, like my name is still attached to it. So if anything goes wrong or someone doesn't have a good time, it will come back on me. Like it won't even come back on the tour company. It 1000% will come back on me. And that's just what it means to be an influencer living your life online these days. So I have to like make sure that I can handle that as well. So that was something that's very scary to think about. I feel like over the years, my mental health has definitely been a lot more fragile than it usually has been. And it's just something that like I had to make sure I can prepare myself for. Like I said, transparency is important to me, so that was something that I wanted to share. I'm just using the bronzer and blush out of my Life's a Draft palette. And I guess on my end, I've never really heard like the influencers that I see like do different trips like this and travel trips. I've never actually heard them say like, how it's working. So I didn't know, you know, when I started talking to the company, like I didn't even know like what to say, and I'm not under management anymore. So it was just me being like, I don't know, this seems fair, and maybe it's not, I don't know. Never done it before. So again, that's why I go back to the price, because it has to be something that I felt comfortable with as well. And I was just looking into the different, you know, the itinerary in the different cities, and even something like getting around to all of them. Like, I think the itinerary is very cool because it gives so much to offer. Like, it's not like you're not just going to Dublin, or like just going to the one city, or just seeing like this little piece of Ireland. Like, you really get to, you know, you have so many days, you really get to explore the country and see all of the different things. And I was like, okay, it seemed too good to pass up. I don't know if I will ever get the opportunity to even, you know, get something at that price again. So that was another big reason that I decided to say yes. And then of course, when it comes to my dog, I don't think I've given an update on YouTube, so I'll try to get through this as best as I can. Did I give an update on YouTube? I can't remember. Anyways, so my dog was diagnosed with cancer in May, and she wasn't supposed to make it past the weekend, and we're now into 3 months together. So I'm so happy about that, and so grateful for all of these months, and like in awe of my dog. I tell her every day how brave she is and how strong she is, because I'm like, how are you doing this? But I did decide to put her in chemotherapy, and the first chemotherapy where I took her into the hospital and they would give her it through like an IV, it wasn't helping. It wasn't doing anything with the cancer. So we went to an at-home chemotherapy that I would give to her here, and that I felt like was making her worse. Her personality was really different. She wasn't eating as much. She was very lethargic, and I just, like, I couldn't even give her like treats and pill pockets. And I told her doctor, I was like, I just feel like she's telling me like this chemo is not it. And I wasn't sure if she was trying to tell me like the chemo's not it, or just like it's not it anymore, you know? I just wasn't sure. Obviously your dogs can't talk to you, so you're just trying to interpret the best you can. And some days I just stare at her and I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? Like, what are you trying to tell me? Because I just want to know, and I just want to do things right. I did decide to stop the chemotherapy completely. So she is, you know, technically in hospice care right now. So that's a bummer. She's right next to me, of course, though, but that's been hard. And it's, you know, she has good days, she has bad days. The bad days, I'm like convinced it's all over. The good days, I'm like, I think she's gonna live for years. Like, it's so confusing. Like, every day I wake up and I'm like not really sure what the day is gonna look like. And it's just, it's tough. Again, like, I'm so happy that we've made it 3 months, obviously, but it's also really taken like quite a toll on my mental health and physical health. And I'm not sleeping. Like, I made a TikTok video about this, but I'm actually starting to forget parts of my day, I think, because I'm so tired. So it's definitely been a journey, but I would rather have had these 3 months, even if it means like I'm not doing the best, like to still be able to have made these memories with her. And like, I just took her on a vacation, and just to see her smile all these times, like, it's so worth it. But her doctor did let me know that without the chemotherapy, I think that I will, you know, be spending New Year's alone, which is hard to think about. Again, when this trip was being offered, I was kind of thinking like, is this like a sign? Because this way you don't have to spend New Year's like alone in your apartment without her, and you can be doing something else and with a lot of people in your community, and, you know, doing something else you love, like travel. That was the biggest thing, because still a part of me is like, what if she is here? Like, how do I leave for 10 days? And it also was like, if I say yes, you know, the way my brain works, but it's like, if I say yes, am I saying like, well, then I hope she's not here by New Year's? And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. Like, I hope she still is. but I'm also trying to be realistic and seeing her and seeing her symptoms and all of that. Anyways, I just don't want to talk about it too much because I'm trying to do my makeup and I'm trying not to make her upset. But it was just something that I had a really hard time with. But again, I kind of wonder, like, is this a way that I don't have to be alone and I can be around like a supportive group of people? Since most likely I will not have my best friend anymore. So I'll say it took me like a little bit longer too, because I was trying to see if the second chemo was making a difference, because I do feel like if the doctor would have said this is really helping improve things, then I think that I would have passed on the trip, because even with chemotherapy, she was given 3 to 5 months, and that was in May. Like they said, even if the chemotherapy does work, you're looking at 3 to 5 months. And then with that not working, obviously is less. But I was like, if the second chemo works, then maybe potentially we could hold on that long. But then when I got the news that it wasn't and we decided to take her off, just a couple of days later that I told the tour company that I would do it. And I'm someone that like looks for like signs too. And this was so strange to me. I'm gonna use the Sigma Nude palette. But I was still like, I was going back and forth. I didn't know what to do. Stop me if you've heard this before. I was reading a book, and one of the characters in there, picking up new mod with the E44, designed a travel app. And it basically was a way to get discounted travel and discounted experiences when you travel. And even to be able to find like other people that wanted to go to the same spots, like if you were traveling solo. And I'm reading it, I was like, wow, like what a crazy thing to be reading about this when I feel like I have something so similar that's like a potential. And then of course my mind is like, I want to make an app like this. Is there already an app like this? Should I download an app like this? You know, I was just like all over the place, but I was like, oh wow, you know, what a like funny coincidence, whatever. I'm at the gym, I'm on the treadmill, I read on the treadmill. Don't judge me, I have to do something. I read on the treadmill, I get done reading this book, and I go to pull up the next book that I'm reading. And I can tell from within 2 pages, the book is set in Ireland. And I was like, what are the odds? Like, what are the chances that like I have to give my decision this week, and then I read a book about traveling and like this discounted and group travel and all of that, and then the very next book is set in Ireland. I was like, okay, I feel like it was my sign. So I just thought that was like such a funny coincidence, if you will. But that's a little bit about like why I even decided to do it. Like I said, I'm kind of nervous, and to be honest with you, I don't think I'm a very good salesperson. I know there's so many influencers that like, you know, when I'm watching them and they're like, I love this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need it. And like, there's so many people that I've bought so many things off of their recommendations, and it doesn't even feel like they're, you know, selling me anything. And I'm just like, no, I need it. And I've never felt like I've been a salesperson. At least I hope I like don't come off across as a salesperson, because that's truly like not how I feel either. But I think I just, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but like, I just don't care what people do or buy or wear. Like, I'm just like, whatever you want, like do your own thing, like whatever. And so when it came to this, and I was like, am I gonna like feel like I have to be like salesy about this? Like, that's not how I want to feel. But I want to talk about it and share about it as much as I can, because I think that it's such a cool opportunity. And I just hate the thought of like, you know, obviously I'm gonna be vlogging the whole time of like, what if I get back and make this vlog and someone's like, wait, I didn't know anything about this trip, like I would have gone too, that sounds so cool. And then I would just feel so crushed. So I'm trying my best to like share about it everywhere and talk about it, because again, I wouldn't be going and like signing myself up to go as well. Like 10 days in Ireland, you know, essentially by myself. Didn't think that it was something that was a good deal and was going to be like what I feel like a worthwhile experience, and just like such an amazing trip. Like I would not sign on for that. So I just wanted to like tell everybody how excited I am for it. And the more people that I talk to about it and the more I get their feedback, like everyone is agreeing with me, and then I'm like, okay, so good. So it's a good deal, it's a good value, and hopefully it just gives people the opportunity to take like such a cool trip. That's what I really, like, that's what I really hope. So I just put New Mod all over my lid, and then I'm just gonna pick up Lady Bird with my finger and apply this on my lid as well. But that is, you know, essentially the trip. Again, the full like booking form will be in there. There is an option for what's called like a VIP upgrade, and basically it is like if you don't want to do the option, which you definitely don't have to, that group would stay at the hotel that we're in on this night. I can't remember the exact date of it, but the one group would stay there and still have like the guides there, and people from the trip would still be there. And then the VIP group will have extra nights in staying in a castle. So a few of the nights that were there were literally in a castle, like staying the night in the castle, having like banquets, and I believe there is dinners every single night, like with the full group. There's like dinners and banquets every single night with everybody, so we'll all be there together. I will be there, of course. New Year's Eve, there is, you know, like a special like celebration. Obviously we'll be there as well. What am I gonna wear? No idea. Not a single clue. Don't ask me about anything that I'm packing to Ireland, because I don't have a freaking clue what I am doing yet, okay? So there is that option, and I know that one is almost sold out. I only had a limited number of spots to be able to do that, because there's only so much room like for the transportation and like the actual castle and all of those things. But that's also not something that you have to do. And there is the regular option available as well. And you do have the option to, if you are traveling alone, you know, you could have your own room. And if you are traveling with someone, there is an option to do like doubles in the room, which I believe is at a lesser cost, since you will be splitting the room as well. One thing that I did say, and Atomic Trips is very big on saying that you're not having to bunk with strangers. Like, you don't have to share a room with strangers. But I have had a couple of people ask about if anyone would be comfortable staying with anyone else, and you know, I'm giving it the option. No one has to do it, but if you are someone who feels comfortable sharing a room with someone to be able to like split the cost as well, that is an option too. And I said, if you want to reach out to me, you know, email or DM or anything like that, if I have multiple people reach out, I'm happy to try to like help see, but that is just for anyone who feels comfortable with it. Otherwise, you know, get your own room, all the good things. Sometimes, you know, if you're like me and you're a little bit like more introverted and whatnot, sometimes you just need like a little bit of time to chill and like decompress by yourself. And some people don't want that. Some people would rather, you know, be able to share with someone. So totally up to you. And another question I was getting a lot was, is it only open like for, you know, the women of Sam Squad too? And no, like if you can bring anyone. If you have a partner that wants to come with you, a friend, or maybe it's not for you, but you know someone who's always wanted to go to Ireland, please feel free to pass on the trip. It's not solely just for my community, and we might have other people join as well that just see it on the Atomic Trips website and think like, that's a great deal, I want to go too. But for the most part, I thought it would be cool if we could have the majority of us, so we can like, you know, stick together and all of that. But it is open to anybody. It is 16 and up, I believe, is the ages on that. But yeah, if you had, I know someone is bringing, I know a couple people I believe are bringing husbands. Again, if you have friends, anything like that, you know, anyone is welcome on the trip. Another question that I was getting asked is, I didn't realize I had so many followers in Ireland. I started to get a lot of messages and some emails of people saying that you live in Ireland, and would it be possible to do like a meetup, or can you come, you know, at any point of the trip and things like that. And I wasn't really sure, so I reached out to the tour company to see what they would say. And essentially they thought that it would be pretty difficult for me to kind of veer off of the itinerary, just because the itinerary is pretty packed. There's a lot that we are doing, and obviously I will be staying with the group the whole time. I don't have any plans to do anything like going off by myself or anything like that. I will be with the group the whole time. I will be doing the full itinerary that is up there. And so they just don't think that I will have the most amount of time to try to be able to schedule something. And I know people that have wrote in have let me know where they are at, and it's at like every other stop. And it's not like everyone's in Dublin. They're kind of all over. So it would literally be me having to do everything in the itinerary, then something else on top of it, and I just don't think we'll have that many hours to be able to do it. There is still the option if you do live in Ireland and you want to do the package and, you know, kind of have it be like a staycation type thing, you can definitely do that. But I also know if you live there, it might not be as exciting to do, you know, some of the more like touristy things that we are doing. But it's something that we're keeping in the back of our minds. You know, it was something that we hadn't, you know, really crossed our minds, but we're gonna keep it in our back pocket in case we are able to plan everything, even for like one of the cities, and if people can come to it. But as of right now, I can't make any guarantees on doing a meetup outside of what we are doing with the itinerary. I hope that makes sense. And then I'm just gonna mix a little bit of New Mog and Voguish on a pencil brush, and I'm gonna put those on the lower lash line. So I think that is everything. I love that I had like a list planned out of like, talk about this, then that, then this, and I just kind of like went all over the place. That's what I do when I get excited. But that is the gist of it. Again, I'm gonna have the links down below. I just highly recommend going to the itinerary page, the booking page, you know, obviously doing things like looking at the tour company, you know, obviously doing things that make sure that you feel like comfortable and good about booking something like this. Like, to me, again, it's kind of like something scary to enter because this is a lot different than me recommending you get an eyeshadow palette. You know, it's a lot more. So I feel like I'm taking on a lot of stress with this too, but I just feel like the rewards could be so much greater than like a little bit of stress and like whatever. I can help give people an opportunity to travel to really cool locations in a safe setting, in a group setting, and at a good price. I would love that so much. I hope that it's something I can do more. It's a reason why I loved being a travel agent, and I loved being able to put together packages for people, or finding deals, or calling the, you know, the hotels, calling the cruise lines, calling the freaking Disney people and trying to see like, can I get upgrades on anything? That was always so fun. And to be able to, you know, hear from my clients, their experiences. Actually, the very first group that I ever sent as a travel agent was to Las Vegas. And I had never even been here yet, so that's really funny. But I would love to hear their feedback and see their photos. And, you know, there was trips that I planned for people over like special occasions, or like one couple, like the guy was proposing on this cruise, and it just made me feel, I don't know, it's just like was such a special feeling to like be included in something like that. And then this is even a step further because like I'm going to be there too, and we all get to do it together. I just think so many of you know that over the years I always say like community over competition, which I kind of relate to like creators and being online, but I also mean that just like in real life. I think community is so much stronger than anything, and I'm so grateful for mine. My life has had so many ups and downs since I posted my first blog post in October of 2009. My life has changed in so many ways, and obviously not everyone sticks with me the whole time. I mean, interests fade, and you know, people change, and it doesn't match the lifestyles, and people stop watching and come back, and all of that. But I'm just so grateful for everyone who's had any part of this journey with me. I never thought that it would give me an opportunity like this. Like I never, like I still like am like, what? So I'm just really grateful, and I hope to be able to meet some of you that, again, I know some of you have booked and I've been talking to, and I'm so excited about it. I just can't wait. I hope that we can do it more. Like I really, really hope that we can do it more. And to do things, you know, I would love to be able to do obviously like Las Vegas, but even just some different meetups around the US as well. And then if we can have, you know, a trip or two a year that's kind of a little bit more bigger or international or longer days or something, I think that would just be such a fun experience. Hope some of you are able to do it, and also if you have any Ireland tips, please give them to me. I mean, I think I'm gonna have to bring 2 suitcases for sure. And also I'm like, obviously it's gonna be colder weather and I'm, you know, not even used to colder weather. I don't even own a coat. Like, I'm either gonna have to buy a coat or see if anyone here has like a coat I can borrow for the trip. I'm gonna have to like probably get boots. Like, I'm like, why? Like, what am I gonna bring? And also my passport, I am rush renewing my passport because it expires in October. And I've literally been sitting here all year, especially the past 3 months. You know, all of my travel got canceled, all of that. I've known my passport was gonna expire in October. Why I didn't just get on it, I don't know. And now I just paid an exorbitant fee to rush renew my passport, so I will have it in time. So, you know, everything's fine, everything's working out, I'm exactly where I need to be, and all those other mantras that you're supposed to be saying to yourself. But again, I just kind of kept going back to why not? Like, why not at least take a chance? I felt there was a point there where I was pretty convinced I was going to say no to it. And then I kept getting really sad whenever I thought about it. And I was like, will I regret this? Like, I don't want to regret. And I was like, maybe another one, maybe next year, maybe another time, maybe this. And I'm like, if there's anything that I've learned with, you know, Aries Cancer is, I mean, it sounds cliche, but like, she literally went from being completely fine one day to our worlds were flipped upside down the next day. And you just never know. And then I flash back to my aunt saying that she'll tell me her idea next time. I'm not trying to get too deep, but before I was here, I had an appointment and we spent basically the entire appointment talking about Aries, so I just feel like I'm kind of emotional anyways. I do flashback kind of on these past 3 months with Aries because I feel like I'm kind of like in a limbo and I feel like I'm very stuck. It's hard for me to leave my apartment. It's hard for me to even just like go to dinner. And a lot of my job, especially things that I do in Las Vegas, obviously means going to places of business and recording content for them and things like that. So I know I have to like get out there and keep working and keep coming on camera and filming even through all the bad days. But I just feel like everything is stuck. You know, I had friends that were gonna come visit and I was like, don't come visit. I had places that I was gonna go travel to and visit friends and I was like, I'll come later. And I was like, what if I say no and then she's not here and then I'm all by myself on New Year's and then I'm sad and then I regret not taking this opportunity and I regret not putting out this opportunity to other people who talk to me about how much they wish they could travel to. I just felt like I would regret it more if I said no than if I said yes. And you know, and stress of passport and what people will say online and what if anything goes wrong. I just felt like those pros like outweighed any of the cons. For my lip product, I'm going to use some new from Natasha Denona. I just did a Natasha Denona haul with a bunch of lip products. I'm going to do a combo of Julia and Judith. I think this was my favorite combo from the video. So this is the Julia lip liner. Then I'm going to add Judith. Yes, on top. Okay, and this is my final look. So I really wanted to do the eye look to show you how I was doing the pink looks. It's very simple. It's 2 eyeshadows. Sometimes if I was feeling a wild hair, I would also do some Voguish, like on the outer part of my eye. You know, if you're feeling crazy, you can do something like that. I'm actually gonna take a little bit of Halt and just pop that into my inner corner as well. But that is it. That's everything about the Ireland trip. I definitely wanted to come on and just share about it, talk about it, just kind of give, you know, why I wanted to do it and why I hope some of you will want to do it with me. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Again, links will be down there with the itinerary, with the booking information. I do think calling is going to be the best way. I didn't even say this. I think calling is going to be the best way to book. And also if you let them know that you are in the Sam squad or you're coming like with Samantha March, you do get a discount on the trip as well. And that discount is up to September 1st. But again, if you are interested and you think like, I can't totally confirm right now or whatever, you can still call and ask them to hold your spot for 20 days. So then you have, what, 3 weeks? 3 weeks to be able to decide and confirm and all of that. So if there's like a friend you wanted to ask, or you need to make sure you can get off work, or, you know, someone to watch your children or your dogs or anything like that, you will also have those 20 days. So I definitely recommend calling. I think that will be probably the best way. Or you can also call just to be able to ask them questions too. I know there's been several of you that have scheduled times with them to call so you can ask all of your questions. Definitely do that too. Ask any and every question. Again, I'm happy to answer them, but if I don't know them, I will ask the tour company as well and get back to you. I will have a date for a live chat in the comments. And then once you are booked, I'm just working on getting everyone's information and emails. And then I'll start sending out emails and we will get some Zoom dates on the calendar so we can all chat with each other beforehand. But that is everything. Again, all of my makeup that I used will be linked down below. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in my next one. Maybe I'll see you in Ireland.